Tell a story, Mom.
What story?
The story of...
Oh, all right. Is it running?
Mm-hmm.
I was going with my husband, steady, and I used to talk to him at 12 o'clock. My father-in-law at 12 o'clock every day when he would come home for lunch, and I was on my break hour. So I knew, my mother-in-law said to me, my sister-in-laws and the little sisters of the poor, and there used to be a home in Germantown. So there was a little nun up there in the kitchen, and her name was Sister Marcel. So she happened to call my father-in-law and say, could you take some bananas out to West Philadelphia, 53rd and Chester Avenue, the other home? He said, we have an awful lot of them. So my father-in-law said yes. So my father-in-law took them to West Philadelphia. The bananas were stalks and stalks of bananas, hitting him in the neck, everything. He was loaded with bananas. So we can't find the place, but finally he did. Then he says, I rang the bell on the gate, and then they don't want to let me in. So finally they let me in, and he got rid of the bananas. So he comes home, and he says to my mother-in-law, don't get me involved anymore. He says, I'm not taking any more stuff out there. They even want to leave me in. So my mother-in-law tells me that. So I put a handkerchief over the telephone one day when I called him at lunchtime, and I said, Mr. Manzo, and he said, yes. This is Sister Marcel. And he says, yes. And she said, we had baskets and baskets of apples. And I was wondering if you would be good enough to take the the apples out to 53rd and Chester Avenue. And he's going, yes, sister, yes, sister. So, and I had him on the phone, and he thinks I'm Sister Marcel. Well, then I bust out laughing, and he says, you rat, you.
Your mother's a kibitzer, isn't she?
And that's what went on there. That was funny.
Yeah.
I couldn't...
He acted like butter would melt in his mouth, and he raised up on my
Don't
mother.
put that on YouTube. Don't put that on YouTube.
No.